Welcome to the Hashimoto's Doctor Podcast. You're now part of a growing community of people determined to take their health back through education and self-empowerment. But because of the healthcare system today, we don't have access to the types of healthcare that we want. So we have to do things differently. We've got to do things smarter, and we do that by becoming our own advocates. This podcast will give you the perspective and thoughts of one of the world's leading Hashimoto's doctors. So let's get started. Hey guys, hope you're doing well today. Dr. Shook here, and today we are going to continue one of the themes that I've been talking about lately, and that is cortisol. This is such an important hormone. It is such an important hormone that we understand what promotes it, the consequences of cortisol elevation, and then how to address those driving factors so that we have normal cortisol levels. And today I want to talk to you guys about cortisol and how it impacts your gut health. Okay, so one of the things with cortisol that we haven't talked about is that cortisol levels, elevated cortisol levels, can actually create and promote leaky gut. Now, if you guys know leaky gut's this condition, if you look it up in the scientific literature, you're going to find it called intestinal permeability, or this permeableness or leakiness of your intestinal wall that lets things, in particular proteins and different types of endotoxins, which are things released by bacteria, into the bloodstream. And that's not some place that we want those things, because it can trigger an immune response and promote autoimmunity. We believe that it is one of the leading theories on the gateway or a gateway to autoimmunity. Okay, so what we want to talk about is really this impact that cortisol has upon the gut, and basically its ability to repair. Because elevated cortisol, when it's high for a prolonged period of time, or when it's low for a prolonged period of time, it impairs the mucosal lining regeneration, which is a huge problem, because obviously we need good integrity of our GI tract, right? We need that barrier system to be intact, that your gut wall to be intact. We need it to be selectively permeable, so it only lets amino acids and small things that help the body to rebuild and regenerate through. So high cortisol or low cortisol can impair the recovery and healing of the gut. It actually ends up promoting dysbiosis or bacterial imbalance, and that's not a good thing. We know that the gut environment and the gut microbiome is absolutely critical to our health and function, and when that becomes imbalanced, we start losing our tolerance to foods, which means we start reacting to foods. We start losing our immune system tolerance, which that loss of the reactivity to foods is a sign of a loss of tolerance. So we start to see those things happening, and that's a really important thing that we need to address. And sometimes you've got to look at what is that cortisol that's having that impact, and then what is driving the cortisol. Again, you've got to get to the root of the problem. So it can create an inability of the gut wall to repair and regenerate, promoting leaky gut, promoting dysbiosis or an imbalance of gut bacteria, which can cause immune-based problems. It promotes increased inflammatory chemicals made by the immune system called cytokines, and it promotes higher interleukin 6, which is one of the cytokines, and decreases interleukin 2, which helps it helps with the immune function. Okay, to keep it very simple, the interleukin 6 is an inflammatory chemical that really promotes inflammation. It stimulates part of your immune system that we want, that's normal. It's a normal part of the immune system, but we want it to be regulated. And interleukin 6 really drives this inflammatory process that we need. It's a normal part of your body's physiology and healing, but you don't want it to be overactive. It creates lots of problems. Inflammation, chronic inflammation over a long period of time creates major issues. So, not only this, guys, not only as if there's not another thing, but this elevation or suppression of cortisol creates these problems, again, with the gut repair and healing. And that will suppress something called secretory IgA. So basically, secretory IgA is made by your gut lining, and it's basically the localized immune system of your GI tract. Whenever secretory IgA is low, you don't have local immunity. So your gut is more susceptible to infections and to overgrowth of bacteria, yeast, and any kind of infectious agent. You just don't have that localized immune response that you need. It's a major problem. So can you see the far-reaching impact of cortisol? If you've listened to any of my other podcasts, I talk about cortisol a lot, and we've got to always look and consider cortisol as a problem, and then look at the different things that drive cortisol. Because ultimately, guys, it's not cortisol that's the problem. It's what's driving cortisol. But cortisol has some profound impacts on your physiology, can disrupt it significantly. I've talked about it so many different ways in previous podcasts on thyroid hormone and gut microbiome, bacterial balance a little bit more in detail. I mean, we've gone through numerous things. Promotes inflammatory process. I mean, guys, everything in the body's connected. Key thing that you need to understand, everything's connected. And if everything's connected, then you cannot ignore your physiology. It's why understanding that everything in the body's connected, you need to survey what's going on, and you need to figure out the core physiological processes that are not optimized and work on those core things. Is it inflammation? Is it an inability to deliver oxygen efficiently? Meaning, are you anemic or a tendency towards anemia? Do you have blood sugar dysregulation? Is there a problem? Is there some kind of issue with your biotransformation processes? So can your liver break down and clear hormones and chemicals out? Are you do you have an infection of some sort that's driving an inflammatory process? Are there chemicals that are throughout your body that are creating immune reactivity or disrupting physiology? These are the core things that you have to address. I mean, if you want to be healthy and you want to have vibrant health, guys, this is what you got to do. You got to get to the root of the problem. So I hope this helps you to better understand some of the problems that we see and some of the symptoms and side effects that you may be experiencing, from some of these root drivers. So guys, I hope this helps you to understand your health better, to become better educated, to become more empowered, to take your health back. My goal is to help you become your own advocate so that you can be an active part of your participant in your healthcare and not some kind of passive experience for you. That's not how you get better. Let me tell you, being passive in your health is actually, I don't even take, I do work with a I selectively work with people remotely. We do distance consulting. My consulting clients will work with one or two maybe per week at the most, because I'm I'm teaching, I'm doing a lot of other things, and I'm trying to help people in groups to improve their health. But I do work with some people that come through that are really looking for help and are ready to dig and are highly motivated to get to the root of their problems. I do work with people, but I look at their cases prior to even seeing them. And if they're not really dedicated and motivated and focused on getting better, then I can't work with them, because you've got to be ready to dig, and you've got to be your own advocates. Really what I'm coming back to. You have to be interested in your health, or I can't help you, because ultimately I'm a guide. I'm a coach. I help you try to put the pieces of the puzzle together and then put together a strategy that we agree on, and you say, all right, I'm doing it, and you do it, and then we follow up in 4 or 6 weeks. And we see, all right, how have we progressed? What's going on? If you are not willing to implement and do what it takes, then I can't help you. And so I look at that well in advance of anyone that we consider working with. And then, every time I talk, it's interesting. A lot of the people that hear the information that I teach, they're the people that, that ultimately call us for help. And so they already know, they have to be in the right mindset. They have to be willing to make changes. They have to be committed to getting better. They have to be willing to get testing so that we can figure out driving factors. So they have to be willing to invest in their health, and they have to be willing to put their health, first. Because if you don't have your health, you have nothing, right? You don't have anything. And so it is important. It is a priority. And you have to be willing to prioritize your health, or I can't help you. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. I hope this has helped you better understand and improve your health. Guys, help us get the word out with this information. So many people have no clue that they feel like they're victims, right? They have this victim mentality. You're not a victim. You actually have the capacity and the ability to change your health and improve your health. You can do it. Your body's amazing. The power that made your body will heal your body. You just have to figure out what's going on and get out of the way. get, whatever's impairing your body's ability to heal and repair, get out of its way so that your body can do what it needs to do. That's what you got to do. But people don't realize that. They feel like they're a victim. I've got this X diagnosis. Guess what? There's a reason. We got to find the root drivers of this process and help your body heal itself. So help us get the word out, because so many people don't realize this. So, guys, please share our podcast, share our post, visit us on Facebook for sure. Our Facebook, we do Facebook Lives. I do Facebook Lives all the time, trying to teach you guys, put the power and knowledge back in your hands so that you can be better educated, be your own advocate. It's really important mission that in my life that we help. I want to help one person at a time to get their health back. And if we do that, if I can help you guys, the people that are hearing this, then we can change your family's life. We can change your life. We can change your family's life. That's big. And if we can change your family's life, that sends ripples. That has an effect on our communities. And that ultimately has an effect on our world as a whole. So, the bigger picture is, for me, is really changing our perception of what it means to be healthy and changing the power structure, quite frankly. The power structure of healthcare is, I almost can't describe it without using profanity, but I'll refrain from that in case there are children in the car with you or wherever you're listening. The power is with few people in healthcare or few companies, and it's very valuable. It makes them a lot of money. So we are with the internet, no one can hold this back. You're part of the movement, and I'm glad you're with me, and I'm going to help you to the best of my ability to change your world and transform your life. So I appreciate you spending time with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are or what you can be. This is your opportunity today. A lot of people will never have this, and today is your opportunity. Don't let anyone tell you or make you feel differently about that. Okay? Talk to you guys again soon. Appreciate you hanging out with me today. Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed hanging out behind the scenes with Dr. Shook. You can also talk with and learn from Dr. Shook through Facebook Live on our Facebook page at the Office of Dr. Brad Shook. Don't forget, you can also get access to our videos, guidebooks, and thyroid programs at www.drbradshook.com. Oh yeah, and don't forget one more thing. We can change the world one person, one family, and one community at a time. Until next time, remember, today is your day, and no one will tell you who you are and what you can be.